Hi. It feels like we're living in a world that's just immersed in chaos at the moment, and we're going from one crisis to another to another. The news, we're 24/7 being bombarded with all sorts of messages, and it's okay to feel worried. You know, it's okay to not know what's happening. And we're having lots and lots of conversations at the moment with our clients, which are around the challenges that life's presenting at the moment. So we thought we'd do a short video for you today on staying grounded in life storms. And it's based on what we do ourselves, but also on the work we do with our clients. So pick the tips that work for you. We'll have a few practical tips that you can take away and that you can put into practice today. I'm Helen Harding. I'm an advanced lightning process practitioner with Phil Parker's team in London, and you're going to meet my colleague shortly.
Hi, I'm Gare, and I'm going to talk about some tips and techniques that you can use from today to support you in this time.
Hi, I'm Jude Hogarth. I'm a lightning process practitioner with Phil Parker's team, and I speak as someone who spent a very large part of their life stuck with anxiety in their personal life, but also really buffeted by external events. And I'm very familiar with the compounding effect of that, as Helen was saying, event after event after event. And what we know is how vital it is to have a toolbox to help you keep really grounded. So, for example, yesterday I was chatting with a client of mine who runs a small business. It's very sensitive to all the things that are going on in the economy. He was telling me how great he was doing, which is a big difference to how he used to be. And I was saying to him, what's really making a difference for you? And he said, Jude, one of the tools that you talked about, which is the circle of concern and circle of influence, which has helped me to feel really to get some power back in these circumstances. So for those of you who are not familiar with this tool, it was developed by a guy called Stephen Covey, who is a management theorist. And in a nutshell, what he says is that in any situation, there'll be parts of it that is absolutely outside of our control. And then there'll be other parts of it or aspects of it that we have direct influence or indirect influence over. And in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talked about how those people who can spend 100% of their energy, their focus and their attention on that part of their circle of influence. I think this one I created earlier, which illustrates this point of things that are in your circle of concern, which is where you have no influence, and here where you only have influence. So where you have direct or indirect influence. And people who put 100% of their effort in this space have greater well-being and their productivity increases and they know how to stay grounded. But intriguingly, if you put your energy here, paradoxically, your circle of influence expands. So what's interesting about this tool is he said, take the 30-day circle of concern and circle of influence challenge and just see how impactful it will be on keeping you grounded and keeping you calm. Thank you.
Thanks, Jude. So, some great tips there with the circle of influence. And I want to give you some more practical tips as well that you can put into place if you feel they're appropriate for you. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is doing a gratitude practice. Now, this is a really simple practice and there's been loads of research into it, and it's really, really beneficial for anybody who's feeling anxious or low or anything else. It's really beneficial. So simply every morning and every night, look for 3 things that are you're really feeling grateful about, things that are good in your life. They can be small things, they can be tiny things, or they can be really big things. But by actually connecting with those things and feeling how it feels to feel really grateful for them, it starts to show you that not everything is bad, not everything has gone wonky around you. So gratitude practice is the first tip. My second tip is really get a great support network. Have a network of people and friends and family around you where you can get support and feel supported if you need it. So that can be in person, it can be within your home, it can be friends, as I say, or it can even be online. You know, even if you have a Skype coffee with a friend every now and then, it's really important to have that connection. My last tip is to really look at how you can simplify things. In times where things are busy and there's a tendency to feel really, really overwhelmed, how can you make things as simple as possible? So look for the things that you can stop doing. You know, what are those things that you're doing day in, day out that really aren't important? They're not key. What can you stop doing? Actually focus on the things that are going to make a difference to you. Focus on the things that are going to really help you at this time. So put your focus into those and decide, you know, break it down into small steps. So don't look at this big project and think, oh, I've got to do all of this. What's the first step that you need to take, and take it one step at a time. The simpler you can make it, the easier it will be for you. So those are my 3 top practical tips that you can start doing today. So over to Kate now.
Thanks, Helen, thanks. So the first tip that I would like to share, or technique that I would like to share, is a personal favourite of mine, and it's a really well-known mindfulness technique. And in any given situation, you can be inside, you can be outside, it is about supporting yourself to almost get out of your head and out of your body. And the way that it works is to focus on 5 things that you can see, to really concentrate on 4 things that you can touch, whether it's a tree if you're outside in nature, or the grass under your feet, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, sorry. So it could be your hand, it could be anything at all that's around you, and 1 thing that you can taste. And really focusing on that is a great way to help you to ground yourself. The next technique is around breath. So often in times of stress, when we're in fight or flight, we move our shoulders a lot. So this is about making sure that you're not breathing into your chest, that what you're doing is breathing into your stomach or into your diaphragm. So you can place your hands really gently on your stomach and just make sure as you breathe in, your stomach goes out, and as you breathe out, your stomach goes in. Just breathe really naturally, maybe for the count of 5 or 6 in and out. And supporting yourself to do that for 3 to 5 minutes can really help to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and digest, which is what we need more of in these kinds of times. Excuse me. And the third technique is very different, and this is about, if you think of it in terms of getting things out of your body. So some people find dancing really helpful. That was my interpretation of a dance. Some people find singing really helpful, and some people find writing things down really helpful. Just find a way to deal with the thinking about your feelings, because actually this is not necessarily about changing feelings. This is about the thinking and your thoughts around the feelings, which is often where people get stuck and they struggle. I suppose finally, actually, of course, if you know the lightning process, if you've attended a lightning process course, then you can definitely use the lightning process to support you during these times. So we hope that you have found these tips helpful. We would love to know which ones you use, which ones you're selecting, and if you've got any other tips or techniques that you would like to share that you find really helpful in such challenging times. Feel free to share this video with anybody in your life that you think it would be helpful for. And also, for more free resources, visit our website, which is lightningprocess.co.uk. There's lots of information there, lots of other techniques and tips to support you to feel really grounded in life storms. So thanks for listening to Helen, Jude, and myself, Kate Gare. We are, as we said, part of, well, we are the Lightning Process head office team and all Lightning Process practitioners. Many thanks.